Welcome to the 28th Angle podcast, where your host, Shelley,
Victoria,
and Heather
are here to hang out, have some fun, and share our different perspectives on a variety of topics. So let's get into it. Hey guys,
welcome back.
hello.
How's everybody's week?
It was good. I got more of my tattoo sleeve to work on. So we're getting closer to being finished. I'm excited.
How bad did that hurt?
So bad. It still hurts. Because it was right on my elbow and like the bend of my arm, and it was not a good time. But I'm excited that it's getting done. So there's that.
It looks really cool.
I really didn't do anything this week or weekend. I mean, we went to the flea market today, but that was about it.
What about you, Shelley?
This week we pretty much got the oil change in our car.
Exciting
and then
stuff.
we gave the car her first car wash.
Your car's a girl?
A little crazy considering how long you've had it.
We've had it since 2018, and the car's always been in the garage. It's never been... I mean, Tony washed it once with like a chamois or whatever in the driveway. But yeah, it never went through a car wash, and she was really happy.
Does she have a name? Since she has a gender.
No. Haven't figured that out yet.
Just curious.
I mean, if she doesn't have one now, she's probably not ever going to have one. So
right. She's been around a while, I guess.
You have to be nice. You know, she has low mileage, so she's like really happy with us. You know, so...
Yeah. If we're judging by that, then my car is not happy with it.
Yes. Same. Neither is mine.
Yeah,
I'd like to think mine's happy with me regardless. Okay, I take care of it.
You use your car a lot more than we do, so you're really happy that it gets to go out and do things.
Right, it explores the world.
Yeah, mine stays in the driveway. Stays in the driveway and maybe gets out once a week.
Maybe.
Okay, so that sounds pretty awesome. All right, so today's episode is going to be about work in our career backstories. Sounds exciting.
Yep.
We're going to talk about our first jobs that we've had.
Yep, just kind of a little bit more of where we are in life and how we got here career-wise. Yeah, learn a little bit more about us. Maybe people can relate, or if you have any questions about them, you know, things like that. You want to get us started? What was your first job, Shelley?
Okay, so my first job that I remember, I used to work in a produce plant. So it was mainly with tomatoes. So we had to sort tomatoes for 8 hours a day.
Do you now love tomatoes?
I hate tomatoes. You know that.
I know.
Yeah, so they would be sorted in different colors, but it wasn't only tomatoes. Like we get the odd like other vegetable or whatever, but mainly tomatoes, and then they would get shipped off to like different restaurants or grocery stores or whatever.
Why would you have if it was mainly tomatoes? Where do the other ones just randomly show up? Why?
I don't know. Sometimes the trucks would come in from all over, and they'd bring like bananas. Like I've tried like it's the first time I've ever had like dragon fruit or star fruit, a blood orange.
I love blood oranges. They're so
papaya. I've never had like papaya before until then. But let me tell you, and maybe you guys know because I don't really buy tomatoes unless Tony wants them. But a rotten tomato is the worst smelling thing I've ever smelled.
So the only thing I can think of right now is if we really want to prank and be mean to Shelley is we just need to buy a ton of tomatoes now.
Oh my god.
Let's just fill her room with tomatoes.
No, thank you.
Her office.
Tony would be happy. He'd have all these tomatoes.
He'd be thrilled. So is that job what made you hate tomatoes, or did you hate tomatoes when you worked there already?
Yep. I hate tomatoes since I was born. And
Since you were born.
Since you're born.
My mom, the story is, my mom, when she was pregnant with me, all she ate was tomatoes on everything. Tomato on pizza, tomato on like tomato sandwiches, everything like that. So I guess maybe she ate too many. That's an old wives' tale, but
So
I
what
know.
made you say, "Oh yeah, this will be my first job. I wouldn't mind working here."
I'm
well,
gonna apply here.
well, no, I didn't even have to. I don't know if I had to apply. My cousin was actually a supervisor there, so I was like, 18. I was 18 when I got it, and he's like, "You want a job?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure." So that's how I got it, really. So it's pretty easy. Then I actually moved up to supervisor. I don't even know how long I was there. It wasn't very long. I only got to be a supervisor because the other supervisor that was there, she was like on sick leave. So I had to like go into the big coolers with like all the vegetables and do like inventory count and make sure yeah, we got the shipments out and stuff like that. It was kind of stressful for only being like 18, 19 years old. But yeah, so
That's
that
how
was
you
my
know we've lived
first job.
completely different lives.
Yes, right? Yeah, I didn't work like
It's funny.
when I was in high school, like when I was 16, 17, like normal people get jobs when they're 16. I mean, I helped deliver papers.
Normal
I
people.
wouldn't
What's
say
that?
normal
Me
people.
neither. No.
I know a lot of
I
people
wouldn't
that
say
had
that.
had jobs at 16 when I was growing up.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people that get jobs at 16, but that's not necessarily normal. I guess it's depending on how you're raised or how your kids are raised, but
But
Heather,
yeah,
you want
so
to get into yours? Or you still have more, Shelly?
no, I was just gonna say that was my first job.
That's very interesting, yeah, because I didn't know that.
Oh,
Yeah,
you didn't?
I didn't know that either.
No.
Oh, I thought I told you. Well, you learned something new, right?
Right?
Yep. So my first job was when I was 16, and it was at Papa John's. We worked inside. So it was, I mean, almost everything you can do inside of a pizza place or Papa John's. That's what we did. Started out as cashier, and then you eventually learn how to make the pizzas. And I eventually moved up to a shift leader, so I would eventually either open or close the store. Most of the time, it was closing the store. Um, Very rarely did I have to go deliver pizzas, but I did. I did do that once in a while if I needed to. Nothing special about it, but it was. I always said it was a good first job to have. I mean, I got to go in and prep all the stuff I needed for pizzas and learn how to make it. And when the stores closed, we got to create our own stuff. It was
Oh, that's cool.
So
I
much.
know. I know. My first American pizza, I think, is Papa John's. Tony loved Papa John's, so we'd always get it. But then we tried it here in this town, and it's not the same as it is in Virginia. So I don't
I
like
will
it here.
I will say Papa John's is not my go-to, and I don't know if it's because we worked there for so long, like, and I had so much of it when I worked there, or if it's just my taste buds. I don't really know, to be honest, but
So
I'll eat them, but it's
what
not
was
my first choice.
what was the wildest, craziest pizza you ever made, or you just made your
Yeah, I
favorite?
didn't really make any crazy things. We used to make like our own like subs and stuff back before, like they didn't even. I don't even. I still
They
don't think
didn't
Papa
have them
John's
then.
sells subs yet,
Yeah.
but yeah, they didn't have anything like that. So we used to just make our own things like that, like pizza subs and whatever.
So I'll answer that question, but I guess I should also state first. My first job was also Papa John's with her, with Heather. She got the job first, and then I got the job right after her. I don't think I ever became a shift leader there, though, right?
So she was your boss.
I don't.
She
think
was my
so.
boss. Yep. She
Was she
was my boss
bossy?
for a while. Yep. But I also had another job. I worked at Walmart at the same time. But Papa John's was technically my first job. And then I got a job um, at Walmart as well, working overnights. But yeah, I think one of the, I don't know why I remember this so much, but one of the craziest pizzas I've ever made was like, they wanted like 4 times black olives. So I swear it was just a pizza full
Oh
of
my
full of
god.
black olives. I was like, this is I hate black olives.
Yeah, me too.
Wayne might love it. But it was like, yeah, they asked for like 4 times black olives. I swear it was just like a inch thick or more
Oh my
black
god.
olives.
So I
Wow.
think the one thing that stands out. Well, I think there's 2 things that stand out to me when I think of Papa John's, and that's when one of our drivers drove through the front door, and I was standing
wow.
at the front counter.
And I was doing dishes in the back. Yep. And one of our delivery drivers drove right through the front door.
Oh no.
I remember that.
I actually
What
still
happened?
like.
Like, how did he?
his brakes. I think it was his brakes or something just
His brakes went out. Yeah, they
went
didn't work.
out or something. They didn't
Oh.
work. Yeah, it was. I mean, it's something out of his control, but he literally took out the front door and was like sitting
whole
inside
front
the
lobby.
lobby type. Yeah, like
Oh wow.
Thank
I
goodness.
was frozen because I was standing behind the lobby counter, and if he would have went any further, it would have hit that down too. But yeah, it's just crazy.
Thankfully, it was like we were closed. It was like his last delivery. So
Yeah,
he was coming back after the, I mean, there's nobody in the lobby. So nobody got hurt, thankfully. But
Yeah.
yeah, it was crazy. Like I was doing dishes. All I heard was a big crash. I come around the corner and there's a car in the lobby. Like,
Oh my god. Yeah.
Excuse me, sir, you're not supposed to park here.
I think the only other
Crazy.
thing that I remember, like, really, I guess, strongly from Papa John's is somebody. I think, and I opened the store once, and I think it was a weekend. Somebody came in there and ordered like 10 pizzas, and they paid for it, and I didn't think anything of it, but it was a fraud credit card that they used, so I had to go into the sheriff's department, like, like how they line up guys. Does any of these look familiar? Do any of these? It was
Oh
so scary
wow.
and crazy because I didn't remember what the guy looked like. You know how many customers we seen? Like I don't.
Right.
Right? I hardly
It was
look at people.
crazy.
That's
Yeah.
crazy. Oh my gosh. Huh.
So for me, from there, I did move on to Domino's. And I worked at Domino's for a very, very long time. But like, I mean, I was still young. I think I was 16 when I moved on to Domino's, and I moved up to shift lead and eventually up to general manager of the store because the general manager there, I don't know, took on a different store or something. So he gave it to me like when I was 18, 19. I was running a whole Domino's to myself,
Wow.
which is crazy, but I had done it since I was 16. So to me, it was like second nature, just doing everything. But I mean, the only thing it added when I took over was like doing interviews and hiring people and scheduling and all that stuff. So, but I really enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun. But I bring that up to say one of the other craziest things that's ever happened when I was working at Domino's was we were like right beside, I think it was a bar or something like that, and we were like just about to close. And for some reason, this store had like um there was like a little tiny hallway between the glass in the front of the store and where the store actually starts because there was like a bathroom there. Um, so there was like this little tiny piece of the store where people could go into, and there was a guy that came in completely naked,
Oh
drunk,
no.
and was sleeping in that part of the store after we closed.
I
And
remember that.
one of our last drivers that came in from his last delivery had noticed him and was like, there's a naked guy sleeping in the lobby. Like,
Oh my god.
okay, so we had to call the cops and get him out of there. But it was like why are you naked? What happened?
Right? What
So
happened to
yeah,
the clothes?
it was
Wow.
crazy.
You did
Or
not even
actually,
order pizza, hey?
no, I don't even think he did order pizza. That's rude. But yeah, I think Domino's was the last place I worked really before I left Florida for South Carolina. No, that's not true. That is not true. I had a warehouse job. I worked 7 at night to 7 in the morning at, oh man, what's that shelving company?
Closet Maid.
Closet Maid. Yeah. I cut,
Oh, we have those in our closet.
yeah, I
Hey,
cut
maybe you
Closet
cut
Maid
these
shelves.
ones.
Yeah, that's possible. I used to cut Closet Maid shelves into the length that they needed to be cut.
Yeah, that's
Well,
what we have in the
I didn't. The
closet.
machine did. I just took them out, put them in.
Well, I'm gonna say you cut our closet.
Yeah, I made yours
things.
specifically for you, Shelly. Okay.
Well, they're coming out of the wall. Do you want to come and fix it?
No, I just cut them. I don't fix them. That was the last job I did before I moved out of Florida to South Carolina. And then I ended up back at Domino's until I went to school for massage therapy.
Crazy.
Yep. So then I did
Oh.
massage therapy for a couple years. Then I went to school for dental assisting. I worked at dental assisting for about a year and then I got pregnant. So So I was a stay-at-home mom for like 7 years, 8 years. And then that's when I decided I should get into IT. So I started school while being a stay-at-home mom because my second son, I knew was still at home. So I wanted to be done with school by the time he started kindergarten. So that's crazy,
Now you're
actually, how it worked
busy.
out. Yeah,
Now
now
you're
I just,
busy.
my very first IT job was, I don't know if I should say company names, should I?
I wouldn't.
Probably not, no.
um, yeah, my very first IT job was overnight, and it wasn't like a real IT job. I don't know the best way to describe it. It was more like a support for a specific company, a specific brand. So like how I'm IT now, I'll call support for these companies. I was the person on the support phone. So
For that specific company, right?
right,
Is
for
that what
that
you mean? Oh, okay.
exactly, yeah, for that specific company. So if they had problems with their devices for that company, they would call support. I would answer the phone, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And now you're at your job.
Now I'm at my job now, and I work for a lot of different companies, but mainly law firms. So I am help desk plus.
Help Desk Plus.
Help desk plus everything else that needs to be done. That's how I feel anyway.
Yeah, pretty much.
Uh,
Did you want to get into yours, Shelley?
yeah, there's a couple of jobs. Well, one of my favorite jobs. I wasn't at it for very long, but I was a porter at the hospital when I worked at the hospital, obviously. So the porter pretty much was a person that if somebody came in and needed x-rays like at the hospital, you would take that patient to the x-ray lab, or if they needed blood work, you'd run labs to the blood or you'd run blood to the lab. Emergency, you would, I don't know, there was something that we did at emergency. I wasn't there for very long, but I remember one time when I was getting trained, the girl that I was working with, we had to go to the OR one day. They had just did a mastectomy, and we had to take the specimen to the morgue. And then there was like she's just carrying it around in a bucket. Like you couldn't see it. It was like, you know. But I'm like, oh. And then there was another time where there was like a foot, amputated foot in the morgue. That was so creepy.
Do they still call them? Do they call them porters here?
I have no
Is
idea.
that,
That
I
was
don't know
just the
anything.
job title back home.
Yeah, that's what I was just
Um,
wondering if they call them the same here.
I think they do. I want to say they do, but I don't remember.
yeah, so the last job that I had, I was working in a nursing home as a certified nursing assistant, which I had said in our first episode. That job I missed because we did a lot of hands on with our residents. Um, you had your good days and you had your bad days, but it was rewarding work because you really got to know these people and they became kind of like your family. So it was hard when they passed away. But we
Yeah, that
worked a
would be
lot of.
hard.
Yeah, it was. If you were closer, you try not to get too close because of that, but because everybody's human has emotions. Um, but
Everybody's human and has emotions.
yeah, but yeah, it was it. I miss that job. I miss the residents. I mean, by now, residents that I had worked with have passed on.
Unfortunately.
Um,
So was that your favorite job that you had?
yes, it was my favorite job because we did a lot with them. Like, we had some jokers, some residents that, oh man, some really good ones. And they'd have like really fun activities. They would have put on a costume contest. So I remember this one resident we had, we dressed him up as Shrek. We got body paint, like green body paint. And he was all for it. He was like, oh yeah, let's do it. And so we painted him from head to, well, not to his legs, but he was in a wheelchair, and we painted his body green, like his arms and his face and his neck and everything. And we put the Shrek ears on, and somebody had made him like the top for it, like the tunic part. Yeah, it was really good. But they love that, you know, and the kids come by, like little kids, they just love the little kids when they come. So yeah, it's rewarding work if you ever work with the elderly. Yeah.
Yeah, which
That's cool.
I mean, I didn't take care of them like that, but I did work with them, I guess, in the hospital as well.
Yeah.
It just wasn't CNA. Were you said you were done? That was it for your.
Yeah, that was it. That was my last job. So I don't think I could do it now because it's very backbreaking work, like with all the transfers. But I'm pretty sure everything's mechanical now. But it's
Yeah, it's still a lot of work though.
I
It's
was gonna say it depends on where you're at, I think, but yeah, I still
Yeah, for sure.
CNAs
it's like
do a lot of work.
Shift work now. Like we used to work 3 12s a week because, like, you know, we were only allowed to work so many hours every 2 weeks. So, and then it would be overtime. So yeah, you'd be coming off like some people would work 5 12s in a week, and it's like, oh my god, but it was overtime. But
Jeez.
crazy.
That's too much.
That's too much. Yeah, but
It's too much.
yeah, that's it. What about you, Heather?
So I was trying to figure out. I was at Papa John's for quite a while actually, and then I had got pregnant, and I don't remember where I went when I left there, but I'm pretty sure it was a warehouse job, and I was making hoses. Well, I was packing up. I was doing the packing stuff, the shipping stuff for
What type of hoses?
It was like the big black hoses that you see when you're pumping gas, like that go from the tank to the handle.
Oh, we don't have any of those. I was gonna say maybe the hose you packed is in my yard.
No, it was yeah,
It's the one at your gas station, Shelley.
yeah,
Oh,
the ones
okay,
at the ones
okay.
at your gas station. But that was so long ago, man. They've probably been replaced. I don't know how often they were replaced, but I think from there is when I went and worked at the hospital, and I worked in patient meals in the hospital. And I did that for I think 5 or 6 years, but I also went through a pregnancy there. Which was a lot of work because that was a lot of walking.
I did that too.
I actually passed trays out to the 6th floor, so I had the furthest walk.
Ugh.
And then I mean,
No elevators?
well, yeah, but I still had to go up the
Oh, yeah.
elevator and walk to the south end of the
Did you
hospital.
guys
So
did you guys have like big steel carts with
yeah,
all the food in? Yeah.
big steel carts. And right as you came out of our as soon as you came out of our department, there was a hill right there. So we always had to either go down the hill, so you had to stop the huge cart with full
Yep.
of food from rolling down the hill, or when you were going back, you had to push it up the hill. So it
Oh,
was always
man.
very
Yep.
annoying.
That
So it was
sucks.
a pretty good workout. And
So you did that while pregnant, like pushing?
oh yeah,
Oh my
the whole
god.
pregnancy. Yeah,
That sounds
the whole pregnancy.
miserable.
Because I always got comments when I was walking down the hall. Well, at least you're in the right spot.
Right.
You go into labor, you're in the right spot.
Probably was the most commented thing for you.
Yeah, it really was. But I did work my way up to a supervisor there, so I ran the dietary, I guess, kitchen. I don't know how you would differentiate, but because there was a dining room kitchen and there was a patient meals kitchen. We worked 12-hour shifts, so
So
actually
there
when
are
I
two
started,
separate kitchens in the hospital?
yeah, well, no, all of
I
the
think
food is made upstairs where we were, but then a lot
Oh,
of it was
okay.
brought downstairs to the dining room where
Oh, okay.
everybody ate. But it did have their own, like, certain things down there in the dining room, like soup things, and there was a sandwich making place down there, and
Yeah,
there
we
was
had
all
that
kinds of stuff.
too.
Yeah. I think they had pizza that came in, Chick-fil-A, or there was a bunch of other
Oh
stuff that got
wow.
brought into the dining room for people to eat or buy,
That's
obviously, and eat.
cool.
Did you have
Um,
did you have a person I know you were just doing patient trays, so you didn't really deal with the dishes and stuff.
no, we did.
So
We
did you have a person that like did the pots? Like the pot section, you know, the
Yeah,
inserts?
we always had somebody assigned to the pots
Yes.
position. Yeah.
That was the worst.
I never had to do that one,
Worst.
thank
I
God.
had
but
to do that. Well, I mean, it's different, whatever, but that was the worst job.
What did they
Ever.
have to do?
Wash those pots.
Those huge
Just-
pots that that cook all that food in, like
So
enormous pots.
there was one person's job to
Yeah.
just wash those pots.
Yes.
There was a lot of pots because
was a lot of
think breakfast, lunch, and dinner, plus
Yeah.
all the desserts, plus we did catering, plus we did the dining room
Yep.
food. Like there was a lot of pots that went into that.
And then
room.
sometimes, like, if the cooks would burn something,
Oh yeah, you're the one
scrubbing
cleaning
pots.
it. You're the one cleaning it. Yeah, that's not
'Cause
their problem.
if they didn't spray it good enough, there was burnt crap in there. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, and
I think I had to do it like once or twice, but that wasn't like my primary like
But I
position.
assume there's also
going-
like big giant sinks to wash them in,
oh
right?
yeah, they're huge. Well, the ones
Yeah.
that we had are giant sinks. Sorry.
Yeah, there was.
over
There
yours.
was. No, you're fine. No, there was big giant sinks, but it was still not any less annoying. I mean, when you went in the dish room, you knew you were leaving that day soaking wet. Okay.
So-
Oh yeah.
Period. You were
Don't
leaving
wear-
and going home soaking wet because there was no way
yeah.
around it. Your shoes were
That's-
wet. Your outfit was wet. Everything about you was wet.
Like ours was different because like when you first walked into the kitchen, you would walk in and there would be the dish room, so it would have like the big dishwasher machine, and then you have someone unload the dish carts, and then you'd have someone like washing the plates, and then someone loading the dishwasher, and then that person loading the dishwasher had to unload the clean dishes, so it would, like, they had to change their aprons to make sure that there was no cross contamination. I don't know. It's
We
weird.
had-
and then the pot
We didn't have
section
anybody
had-
that rinsed them off, or did we? Man, I can't remember that part. We had somebody that loaded the dishwasher. It went around, it was really, really hot, and we had somebody that unloaded it. I was always the one unloading the dishwasher, and I remember at that point in time, that's what made me want to go get LASIK surgery.
Oh yeah, because your glasses.
Catching the
yeah.
dishwasher dishes because it was so hot, and when
Hot.
you have dishes on, your glasses. I mean, when you have glasses on, sorry, your glasses are just fogged up the whole time. So you either
Oh,
took them
yeah.
off or you couldn't see anyway. So I remember that job is what made me think, wow, LASIK surgery and not having glasses would be amazing.
That's funny.
So yeah, for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, we had to load and unload our dishes and prepare for the next meal. So we
Yeah.
did all of those things in the kitchen. I mean, even sometimes serving the food, if the cooks weren't available, we had to make the plates up and do all that as well. So I actually enjoyed that job because I feel like I learned a lot about like dietary restrictions. Like we had to pay
Yeah.
attention if the patient was diabetic. We had to know what they had, what they couldn't have, what they had for breakfast, so we're not serving them too much fruit or too much this or too much of that.
Or
And
if they were like pre-op and they couldn't have, like, they had to have clear fluids or
yep, clear fluids, clear
solid or-
liquids, or
yeah.
if they were on a brat diet, any of that, like you had to learn all of that. So I really feel like
I
even
didn't mind
now
it.
in life, like it still helps me know
Mhm.
what each meal or preference is. Obviously, I'm not an expert at it, but it's still
Right.
cool to know.
Yeah, that is cool. That would be cool to
Yeah.
know.
So from there, actually, that's when I started doing school and stuff, I believe. And I got my associate's degree in healthcare administration. And I got a job at a doctor's office, a urology office, and I was there for a really, really long time.
Forever. Yeah.
I was there for
As long
10
as I've
years.
known you, right?
Yeah, probably. Well, I worked there for 10 years.
10
I was
years?
there. Yeah, I was there for 10 years. I worked my way all the way up to office manager, which in turn just made me step down from office manager. It just wasn't worth it to me. They would have had to pay me a ton more money to get me to stay there in the office management position. Nothing against office managers by any means. It was just way too much work for me when I had a family at home and kids, and
Yeah, that makes sense.
just wasn't what I wanted. So, I had eventually left there, and that's actually when I got my first job in home healthcare, the office side of home healthcare, and I f I really feel like that's where I have, like, I wouldn't say, I guess, fallen in love with that type of work, the office side of home health, and I don't even know why. Like, I like the aspect of having my own office, and I guess not per se having face-to-face communication with patients, like, patients that walk in. Like,
Yeah.
I am not a people pleaser type of person. So it's very out of my zone even though I did it for 10 years and I obviously worked in a doctor's office for 10 years, like I had to put that face on when I was there. It was kind of like a relief to not have to do that when I went to work every day. And I think really that's my main reason for why I like it.
Well, I
So
mean, you did it also for like 10 years, so it probably is like a
Yeah.
huge
it was,
relief.
yeah, it really was. So, I mean, I wouldn't, I'd probably not say that I would never go back to a doctor's office, but it would, I don't know. It would
Yeah, hard
depend.
choice. Yeah.
Yeah, it would be it has its pros and cons, to be honest. Like, there's some times where I miss things, like having that patient interaction and the different things that you do and hear about every day and patient stories and you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Those
Oh, yeah.
relationships that you build outside of your normal work people was kinda cool, so, um,
Sure.
I think that would be the biggest part that I missed. But even now, I'm at a different company, but I still work with home healthcare, and still the office side. I don't know. I guess I could explain my job, but it's really kind of hard to explain if you don't know anything about home healthcare. So, I mainly send out orders to physician offices and get physician orders and chase them down and track them down so they can give them back to me and I can put them in the patient's chart. So,
So when you say home health care, so to me, what that means to me, when I was a CNA, we had girls that were home health aides. So they would like go to the patient's home and, do their ADLs with them and help them out. That's what I think. Whenever you're talking about home health
well,
care or
yeah,
home health,
there are some home health care companies that have home health care aides. Where I work now, we do not, but there are a lot that do have home health care aides. We have like skilled nursing and PT and OT and speech
okay,
therapy and so anytime somebody's homebound and they can't go out to the doctor's office or they can't go out to physical therapy, that's
they go
when
there.
home health care comes to them.
Okay.
But it is like doctors, nurses, whatever's going to their home to take care of them.
Not doctors,
Give
but
them
it
what they
is
need.
nurses. Yeah, nurses, PTs.
Yeah,
Well, I
that's what I
guess
mean.
PTs count as they go through as much school as a doctor does,
I
so
know, right? Though, well, that's what
yeah,
I
they
I
do.
didn't mean like actual doctor, but I know that.
Yeah, no. Yeah, no, skilled nursing and stuff, yeah.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
we
yeah.
we always call it skilled nurse. Skilled I can't even think of the name right now. But I mean, that's it. I don't really know what else she does.
That's pretty cool though.
So, what was your favorite job then? Since Shelly answered as well.
I would say where I'm at now, like home health care.
That's good. And what's your dream job? Do you have a dream job?
No. I mean, I think my dream job would be to work for myself. Trust me, I know that's a lot of work. And that's a
Oh
lot
yeah.
of hours put into work. So like when I say that I don't mean like I just want to be lazy
I
and
just want to do nothing.
hope my business is successful. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. What about you, Shelly? What would be your dream job?
I would actually love to work in the hospital as like either like a lab tech or like X-ray tech type thing.
Hmm.
But I would definitely want to just stay in the medical field. But I actually, my dream job would be to work in emergency, like in the emergency department. Not
Oh,
as like a nurse, but like as like either a ward clerk or like, or even admitting patients. I don't know how they do it here, but
that seems reasonable though. You should go for it.
I really do. Like, I don't know how like to get into it. I'd have to probably do some research and stuff.
Yeah, you could do some research. Figure that out.
But yeah, but definitely in the hospital aspect of things.
That's cool.
What
Well,
about you?
hospital does seem fitting for you.
I know
Um,
I'm a caring
I
soul.
know. Always caring for others. My dream job, I guess, besides sitting at home and doing nothing, no, I'm kidding, would be to work as a software engineer or programmer of sorts, coding in that industry somewhere, just because I thoroughly enjoy writing codes and building websites and everything involved in that. It's just really, really hard to get into. So I am not amazing at interviews, and the interviews for those are insane. And it's like almost makes it not worth it. But I would love a job doing that. So, which I've been to school for, so I technically could do, but I'm telling you, the interviews are so scary that I am not great at that. So I balance it
Interviews
out and
are
work in IT.
scary.
That
I wish
sucks.
you could just. I wish you
Maybe
could
one
just
day
show up.
though.
I wish you could just show up at the job that you want and be like, "Hey, I want to work here." Oh, okay,
Yeah,
here you
I'm
go.
working her now.
I'm qualified. I can work. Like I know what to do, or maybe a couple days of training.
Just give me a chance. I'll
Yeah,
show you
like,
that I
we
know
don't
what
have
I'm
to
doing.
We don't have to do the whole interview process. Like it's a waste of your time. It's a waste of my time. Let's just,
Right. I'll work for a week and
Yeah.
I'll show you that I can do this. Like,
exactly.
that would be nice.
Yes.
Um,
Why don't
I
they
think
do
I
that?
also wanted to mention there was a point in time where all of us streamed as well. It's kind of like a side job, but we all enjoyed it at some point. So we all streamed on Twitch, had a good time doing that. Right? Right, guys? Right?
Sorry, my headset's about to die. Yeah,
And
streaming.
maybe they didn't. I did. Okay, so
No, streaming was a lot of fun, and on my particular Twitch that I had, people would make it a point to come in there and scare the crap out of me because
because it was so easy.
I would
That's
get
why.
scared because I get scared very easily. So that was their job all the
It's
time.
their job.
Their
To go in
job.
there and
Yeah.
scare Shelly.
They got paid for it.
They really did.
But you got paid for it too, so I mean, it worked
It works
out.
out.
And then I
Yeah.
felt bad for taking their money, so I made it cheaper. I made one of
Made
the
it cheaper to
commands-
scare her.
Yeah. Dumb. But whatever.
Oh, that's funny.
But
No,
yeah,
it was fun.
It was-
Having that community was fun too. That's what I.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
met
that's
a
what
lot
I
of
enjoyed
cool
about it.
people.
That was the biggest. I mean, I still have friends to this
Yeah,
day that I met
exactly.
streaming, you know? So it's funny. Just like
Yeah.
I have friends still back in the day when we all played World of Warcraft, and
Yep.
it's crazy. The communities you can build and like have for a lifetime is really cool. How far that's come.
Yep. For
But
sure.
yeah, I think this that wraps up this episode. Is there any last comments, guys, you have?
I don't think so. I think
No, I think we covered it. And as always, thank you all for your love and support. As this is now episode 5. Wow, over a month, you guys.
Yep, every listen we appreciate, every comment, every bit of feedback. It really is greatly appreciated. We work hard on this, and I know we're new and growing and learning, but we'll get better as we grow and learn.